Hello and welcome as we are now into the 13th day of November 2017. My name is Derek. Everything you do within your own risk, own reward, as it's a hashtag crypto trading video. And yesterday, I talked about getting more aggressive within OK Cash. I'm glad I did. Even more aggressive than I pointed out in the video. As I mentioned, I think it was at 2.7% or 0.027 Bitcoin worth of such, and I wanted to get the number higher, so I thought let's just buy 2.3% of such to get it to 5. So I bought 3.3 to bring it up to 6. Then I even bought another couple percent more or so, so about a zero point zero 0.08 or so I had brought it up to, and that was at 5,000 OK cash, 4,700 area. And the price action in at 7,100, I've had a small amount of selling near this top. We'll be looking to buy back at about 5,000 if it goes there, but it may not. When these markets go, will they? Wow, they really go off. When you know that these types of situations occur, then you can prepare for such. I've got sell orders ready to go, breaking above here. I have sell orders to go at the previous high. I got sell orders to go if this thing just pops and goes well north of the 20,000 satoshi level, because that's where the profits really come in when these markets have these wild up and down movements, is capitalize and sell on the way up and then reaccumulate for future profitability by buying on the way down. That's something I want to do more and more aggressively, and I was thinking about that yesterday, which is why I've done a lot of the videos that I do, because it's important, I think, to understand where the good profitability comes up from. Then when we take a look at this on a shorter term 1 hour time frame, they even gave us a little bit of a ha ha, failed move, fast move, scare you out kind of deal by creating this little move in here, and then up she goes. This was a situation in which had a very beautiful pattern. Like, hey man, once we break this 53 to 54ish area, this thing is just going to go. And it did. It certainly did. But before, when this thing looked more ready to go out, I see this so often in the more stock market style markets. That's why when I talk about that it's a rarity, I like to show out the situations when they occur. And I say rarity because when a pattern usually breaks to its move, that's usually what it's going to be. And in this case, the pattern broke to the downside. That was a failed breakdown. Here's an interesting wild code in Mona. I am not involved in this one like I am with OK Cash. And I'll always think of who's the boss from the 1980s when I think about this coin. And in a situation in here, the October rally broke above the September resistance, so making your casual, everyday 10x move. I mean, this is just crazy, crazy market movements. But is it going to be able to hold this gain? This level of support matched this level of resistance, and has now since had a nice move and break above the 18 average. Will it be able to continue to go further from here? Question mark. I don't know, but the situation for this market is definitely holding in there relatively well. I'll be stating most certainly failed move, fast move if this does take off from here. So interesting risk reward situation. You're at 50 now. Mathematically speaking, if you were to play a game to try to get up towards here, that would be double. So if you were right half the time, we'll say better than half the time, 60% of the time you make a bet like this, you actually do get your sale target. 6 times, 4 times it goes to nothing, and I really don't see too many of these ever go to nothing as it is. We're losing plays, you can look at risk reward. Okay, well, I'm going to sell if it manages to come back here, or maybe even more aggressively, I'm going to sell for a break of this high and look to go for about the 200 or 250 handle. And you realize if it comes down here, maybe this is where I want to get out if it goes anywhere near the 29 or 30,000 handle. So I'll risk about 40% of my actual investment. So if I'm going to invest 1,000, I'm going to risk about 400 to win, of course, the amount you would win, which is pretty much, and here will double your bet, 1,000 or such. Let's move on to LSK. I am an owner of this one, just a couple units, which is sports gambling terms. And a couple units for me is double the minimum bet or twice the size as my minimum normal. And I hate saying minimum bet now because I've made so many lower size bets recently. But within this chart here, we have this high from this point, which had this interesting sell move in here. I think it's got a long ways to go higher if it's going to be a fast move to the upside. If there's going to be an inverted head and shoulders pattern, it has just completed the neckline of the last head, as this would be left shoulder, head. So if the price action even dips down to about the 80,000 handle, then you're essentially could be building up a bullish momentum. But just because you're at resistance doesn't mean that's what it's going to do. Rather, when you go from a point A, which will count as high, to point B, which is significantly lower, and back to point A, you expect to find resistance more times than you would not. But when you look at things a little more advanced, and in this case, a little bit of a twist, here, a little south of that level, there was this big congestion area. And quite frankly, a break above here, is this a decent leg higher? I guess it's okay. But because it already had a decent congestion area with now only a little bit of a green move, it wouldn't surprise me if it could keep on going. But where is it going to find resistance? Post here, because it looks like this is an area which it should, and then I would think more towards in here. And like a lot of these codes, I'm just ready for sell orders whenever there happens to be ready for gains well up higher or north of this price level. Now this one I don't know what to do with because I used to be an owner of Cloak, but I just sold it today. I sold it at 99,900 satoshi. I bought it at 54, so I would have bought here and sold here. Maybe it's a good sale, maybe it's a bad one. The situation this is in right now, it's a level of resistance, which is came back to. But when I look at this more clearly, this is one of the codes in which I bought it, I set it, and I forgot it. Because after I bought it here, I set my sell order to sell it all here, and I forgot it. And then I recently today got a sell order. You sold at 99,000 change. Okay. I don't know if I want to get into this. However, the original time when I sold it, or original time when it rallied here, it barely missed it. And if I'm just taking little time to go over different codes here and there, then it's all going to work out. But you have a situation that I've talked about before. When you have a sell or buy order that barely misses, it's good to readjust it. And in a situation here, it might have a good possibility of further gains because you resist here, you come back, and now it's breaking out higher. So it's already resisted this area once, and just maybe it's going to go up towards this 1418 handle. I don't have any intention of buying back in, but definitely a code that has upside potential moving forward. And let's finish this off with BITTREX. This is an alternate coin that I am a holder of. And we have a situation in here where the market rallies after this decline, establishing a level of resistance in the area of where it previously supported. a support successful, what it looks to be at least, support test at the 18 average as well as this previous resistance level. We established a little more amongst this resistance level where it is at now. It's already had a small pierce above it, and it looks as if right now this thing is ready to be poised for continued upside higher. And I would think at least to test towards this high where it should break it immediately, or maybe do so with little resistance, maybe correct through time for, well, this is a 400-minute time frame for a day or so. And then this thing could be poised for a spectacular breakout. What I'm looking for on upside targets when I calculate it, Fibonacci upside that is, I'm looking for an uptrend, which is here, a good price correction, which is here, and I take high divided by low to the root of 1.618. Of course, I have a calculator that can do this up for me. And let's put the numbers in. So the high is in at about 95,000, even 96. The low is in at about 39, which is an upside target of about 167. And I'm definitely going to round higher, which would be anywhere between 175 to 200,000 satoshi. I think that this could have upwards momentum towards going up towards when you have a break of this key resistance level. So for now, I'm going to end this video. Relatively short for me when I'm saying goodbye at around the 12-minute mark. So thank you again for tuning in. Bye-bye.